All around me are familiar faces, worn out places, worn out faces, bright and early for their daily races, going nowhere, going nowhere. Their tears are filling up their glasses, no expression, no expression. Hide my head, I want to drown my sorrow. No tomorrow, no tomorrow.
And I find it kind of funny, find it kind of sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I ever had. I find it hard to tell you, find it hard to say. When people run in circles, it's a very, very bad world. Bad world. Children waiting for the day they feel good. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Wanna feel the way that every child should sit and listen, sit and listen. Went to school and I was very nervous. No one knew me, no one knew me. And a teacher told me, where's my lesson? Look right through me, look right through me. And I find it kind of funny, find it kind of sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I ever had. Find it hard to tell you, find it hard to say. When people run in circles, it's a very, very bad And I find it kind of funny, find it kind of sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I ever had. Find it hard to tell you, find it hard to change. When people run in circles, it's a very, very bad world. Bad world. Large your world. Bad world.
Hello. Who's here? I need to see. Oh, just me so far. Just me has left a comment. Where is everyone else? I'm here. Say things. And I'm waiting for ears. I'm feeling kind of spunky and a little bit weird today. And I don't know what's going on, but I decided I was going to do a little experiment. So here goes. I don't know who you are in the chat, but hi. I'm Joanie. This is who you listen to ramble every day. And I don't like my camera on, but I'm giving it a go. Because somebody told me more people would listen to me if they could see my face. So I thought I would give it a shot. So experiment begun. I'm going to keep my camera on and see if more people will come and talk with me and listen to me. Okay. So, Mad World. I like that song. I really liked the, the little vaudeville style to it too. I thought that was kind of funky and cute and clowny, because who doesn't love clowns anyway? I mean, how can you not love clowns? I think the whole anti-clown movement was just a travesty, honestly. And I don't know. I remember as a kid thinking the clowns are cool. Who had a clown at their birthday? That was always fun. So anyway, I don't know. Let me see. I have to adjust my glasses to read the chat. And that is 86. Is it 869-986? How are you? I'm hanging. I've been crocheting. I started something. Little, I don't know, wrap. Where's the pool or something. I started it in this one, but I don't like the way it was looking, so I redo it. Okay. So most of the time I talk about human behaviors and why we do what we do, because I find that stuff very interesting. I'm not really sure why we do what we do. And I have thought a lot about it, obviously, because I do, that's all I can talk about. Trying to break it apart and see if there's a code. And I know lots of people that use numbers and words, and they like to code all that stuff, and there's symbols and stuff, but I don't think anybody looks at our behaviors. And to me, that's like one of the biggest codes out there. By the way, it's my code. It's a human. Our behaviors make us unique from any other species. We might have the same, stages, but the behaviors in those stages are what define us as a species, right? How we act there. But nobody looks at our own selves. Nobody looks to see about, by the way, you can jump on the panel and join me anytime you want. It's open. But nobody ever looks at why we do it or how many of us do it at the same time. I remember coming across the theory when I was in, my late teens, I suppose. And I don't know, maybe early 20s, but it doesn't matter. Long time ago. And like the Jesus theory, I can't remember the name. It might even be the Jesus theory, but that's what I've always called it. But it was that at any given moment on the planet, there's a whole bunch of people that have the same ideas. And so you get these repetitions in patent applications and stuff. So a lot of people put in, so when airplanes were going on, there was a lot of people creating airplanes, right? So it wasn't just the Wright brothers, but there were a lot of people throwing their ideas out for airplanes. And so that was always really curious to me anyway, because I'm thinking, how come, all of a sudden everybody has the same similar idea and things. And then you learn that in a lot of religions, they also have the same kind of timelines, and Jesus and Krishna and Buddha, maybe they all had tea. They were all, around the same time. All the gods were there around the same time. And everybody was there. Everybody had things that were at the same time. And then we moved on to another thing. And then we have Jesus for a while. And then, hey, land. And then we move on to another thing. And then we have airplanes for a while, and then everybody's throwing ideas. Why weren't we thinking of airplanes? Jesus. Why was it Jesus? There was nobody thinking, we could design airplanes. Nothing like that happened. No. They were doing something else. And these things that we do at the same time and then don't do again are curious, aren't they? Like, why? Why the Jesus theory? Why could several people have the same idea right around the same time in the same place? You know what I mean? But it's not if you understand why it's there. So why is that pattern there? Has anybody bothered to look to see why that happens? Does anybody have any ideas as to why that Work, hey, knowledge. I'm doing an experiment, Lance. Somebody told me yesterday that if I had my camera on, I'd have a lot more people listening to me. Well, experiment of the day. You know how I am. Okay. So I think to myself, why do we have these things? Nobody thinks. I think, therefore I am, therefore I think not. 6 impossible things before breakfast. Somebody think of something that isn't of somebody else's. Just one person, please, I'm begging. And so that really kind of goes along with all that I put together in my silly little idea that I have. Because I know that it doesn't matter on where on the planet a 12-month-old baby is, it's going to walk. So that's something that is a developmental, core, foundational moment, a milestone where I've laid down and I've sat up, and well, first I've got to roll over, and then I got to scoot, and I sat up, and then I crawled over here, and then I pulled up, and then I stood up, and then I took my first steps. And it doesn't matter if I'm on this side of the world or that side of the world, we all do that in that order at the same time, around the same time in our life. And that's why we had airplanes. That's why Jesus is there. That's why mythology is there. That's why all our cave paintings look the same. That's why all of our pyramids look the same. That it doesn't matter. The Egyptians were over here. Maybe they were. How do we explain this? I can explain it because when we were all 3 or 2 or 18 months old, we were all stacking with the blocks. Everybody in daycare was just stacking up obelisks and giant phallus. Do you get what I'm saying? Hey, Beffa. Okay, let me see. I might take a couple of shows till the word gets around. Hey, yes, great, Land. You might need some. You might never. If I absolutely make a fool of myself, I am prepared. That's how desperate I am to share what I'm sharing. Whatever it takes. Hello, Paul. But if I was saying that I'm doing an experiment, somebody told me yesterday, if I put my camera on, I have a lot more people listening to me. So, is it? They help hide my wrinkles and the bags under my eyes. It's all an illusion, everybody. I don't have a filter on there. I don't do filters, but so I really don't know how horrible this would look on, somebody's giant screen TV. But if you're jacking off to that, where you're listening to me talk about things that make sense, well, then by all means, jack away. We'll all be jacks. We'll be jacks of all trade, and we'll be trading our jacks and rubber balling our jacks and what the fuck ever. We'll get some Pokemon cards, and maybe we'll all play Dungeons and Dragons. I'm here for the face. I knew it. Thanks, Belfast boy, for being the first honest person in the room. You get a reward. Mwah! I love you. Excellent. Get over it. It isn't that. It actually, I will do. I understand what you're saying, Beffa. And I agree. I do need to get over myself. That's what I'm doing. I'm getting over myself because enough people have said these things. You're blonde, super skater, superstar. You know it. But Paul says no. All right, we need a banner across the bottom that says no jacking off. You're not allowed to do it. So Paul can feel better about himself. Excellent. Yes, this is one pair. These are my reading glasses, and I only need my reading glasses when I have my contacts in. My regular glasses, though, I they are, because of the way they are, they don't look right on the camera, and then my whole eyes are all just nothing but whatever that the glare, and it's actually harder for me to see because my vision then gets split even further, and so then it's, so you know the doing it this way to be on camera or driving, I wear my contacts because I can't see. The chat is easy. I have to keep doing like that in order to read the chat, and then I don't want to be going, "What are you saying?" But then before, when I was practicing this to see if I can do it, because I'm staring at myself. Yeah, I'm just letting you know. Like right now, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to the chat bar there, but I just want to let you know that I put this on, and I sat here, and I decided, am I going to be able to do that? Am I going to be able to have myself just staring at myself? Who am I now talking to? Am I talking to me? Which brings me back to an interesting idea of why the world is mad. Because yeah, I'm blind as a bat. Okay. I can't see a thing. But I was thinking about watching when I did the last time I did this as an experiment. I have done my camera on as an experiment, but it was more or less trying to understand why those people did what they did when their camera was on. Because I'd be watching the videos. Lance been with me long enough. He probably remembers when I was doing this phase. But and so I was just like, are they looking at themselves? I think they're looking at themselves. I think they're not looking when the person's, because, when you're on the stream, your camera's in a different place. So I can't really explain that, but I could be looking at you, but it would look like I'm looking at myself because of the way it's like it's reversed or something. And I would just be like picking it all apart, and I wanted to understand the dynamics because I felt like I could pick out the ones that would catch themselves. So if someone else was talking, they were like this, and they were just consistently, and even the dudes, were doing it. And it was just so interesting. And I thought, okay, so they catch themselves, or they do something, and they gotta, it's like it's those people that walk past a glass, like windows in the shopping centers, and they look at themselves. It's them. They're there. I caught him on YouTube, and I was like, I see who you are. I see a part of who you are. If we were at the circus, or maybe I was in like a tent or working at Six Flags, I could guess your weight and age, kind of like that. I was having fun, like guessing different people's personalities and who was that. And then I started getting into the ones that were talking, but they were talking to themselves. And I thought that was a fascinating behavior. And I practiced that for a minute like this. I'll do it right now. Well, I'll look at myself and I'll be like, and do it kind of like I'm talking to myself, almost like you're your own therapist in a way, and you're doing, like I never, who are you? What is your purpose for life? Why are we here, man? That kind of. And that was interesting because you do kind of can fall into talking to yourself. And I think a lot of channels that have that, where it's just them talking into the camera, and they're talking to you, that's a lot of actually what they're doing. And the thing that I found the most interesting about that was that the ones that were really deep, so the ones like us, that really, even if what they were saying was somewhat fluffy or silly, when they were talking to themselves, they had almost more like they were convincing themselves. Do you know what I mean? They were convincing them of what they were saying. Not that they were talking to an audience, but they were talking to themselves. It was really neat, as if that's their upper being. They finally were realizing, oh my God, I have an upper being and I can talk to them. And, almost like there was a group of people that didn't realize talking to themselves. Maybe they made fun of kids like me that talk to themselves, but, but for the first time, they realized you can talk to yourself, man. Like, tell yourself things. So I thought that was interesting to pick apart. Oh, that's it. That's what it is. I thought you were talking to me. You're talking to friends. Oh my God. Yep. The blind women's rule. We do. Why are you here? Have you ever looked at yourself in the mirror and it's like they're talking to themselves in a mirror? But that's very therapeutic, right? That's what we do in therapy. We're told to do. I mean, they had a whole Saturday Night Live Kiss Get character, based off of it, where he had like Michael Jordan, basketball player, and he comes and he says, now look at the mirror and say, I like you. And, these celebrities would talk in the mirror about liking themselves, just that idea, that therapeutic idea. And then sometimes that, because then I think maybe there's a big part of me that doesn't think this is even close to over. I mean, I'm only turning 13. I'm just now walking into the world. This is my rite of passage, right? We're all about to go into transhumanism. We're all about to hit a state where we're going to morph or mutate or transition or grow or, move on, whatever belief system you might have with that, into another stage of life, right? And if I'm programmed to walk at 12 months, then I'm programmed to start talking to myself and getting in touch with myself and learning who I am. And I remember that clearly in high school. My identity was most definitely tested then. Up until that point, I liked mysteries and I liked, funny things. My character, I liked, crimes and mysteries. And I liked things that were funny and comedy and jokes. And I liked art. These were all things that I had already started to like. I had already gotten into loving the inner workings of art and theater and all expressions of art, theater being one of them. My mom was artistic, so I had that extra. And then my dad is a businessman and rose the corporate ladder from sweeping floors at 17 and now he literally is an owner of a sister business. I mean, nobody does that. Nobody has that. That is the American dream, right? Climbing all the way to the top. He dropped out of college to become a machinist and then became a floor thing and now got it himself. It's crazy. Nobody has that story here. I'm literally like one of the only people in America who has someone in their family who can say these types of things like that in the same company, still there, right? It's neat, and he loves him and his boss are BFFs. They've been BFFs since he was a teenager. Neat things, but we all have these stages that we go through. Hey, Melissa. Stop it. You make me blush. I'm going to have these things where I'm going to have the same stages and ages. My identity is challenged. So I know who I am. I know what I am. All of my life experiences is here. And now it's time to, I've said, hey, I don't like being abused. And so I was one of those kids in the movies that would by myself just walk up and say, nope, you're not going to say that to me. And you get people behind you that go, yeah, we don't want you doing that either. We're with her. I was that girl. I was that kid in school. I stood up for myself and other people, regardless of how scared I was, and something about how quick my mouth ran and the things that my mouth would say before my mind had an idea of whether or not that was a smart thing to say, considering the size of this person. I managed to skate through it pretty good. And I had a lot of friends behind me because I had that personality, and so you get tested. Trials and tribulations, the good book says. So we're getting tested. This is the rite of passage. This is your wolf. That whatever crazy animal is on your totem pole that you want to identify as being, like, I'm a wolf and I got a tattoo of a fucking rah, and I'm this, and no, I'm the eagle. Oh, and maybe you're like, maybe you like the bear. Did I already say the bear? The lion? I don't know any of them. It don't matter. Your school mascot. That's what. Back to school. Fuck, it's gorgeous. Why aren't more people listening to me? I'm actually kind of surprised, but it's okay. We're a special club, a school. We're a private little school club. Where only the cool kids hang out and nobody else knows about it. When they do that freshman prank on you, or they tell you that there's like, radio, I see you. I'm sorry, it took me a minute to see you, but it popped up high enough. They would tell like the freshmen, there's an elevator, and so they're down there trying to find an elevator, and all the kids, the seniors are laughing at them. There's no elevator, but it's usually the next grade. It's not the seniors. Seniors have their own pranks. These are like the sophomores. This is the second year, right? And they're playing the tricks on the freshmen. You see it in movies like 16 Candles, and you clearly can see the reference when the boys, can I have your underwear? Let me just be cool for a second. And she gives it to him because, well, I was also that character. And that's why I love those films. I thought 16 Candles was quite a good representation of my personality, and that's by design. And so did the writer, the author that made that movie was looking at the world through my eyes, which tells me that I'm not having any unique experience. I'm having a shared experience. And she also had that same thing happen to her when she was in school. She had a moment that she threw a dog a bone and gave him her panties, or a kiss, or, jumped off the bridge, or whatever crazy thing we did just to be the cool girl for a moment, right? To somebody who maybe, needed a, kind of a thing. And then that's why, thank you. Honey badger, they're, honey badger. They are fucking badass. I remember learning about that. I came across something and they were saying, I know some nature show. And the guy was saying the honey badgers are bitches. Like, I thought it was funny. That's a great spirit animal. And I love that it's fun and unique and, different. It's different. You could be a lion, but fuck, everybody's a lion. Who wants to hang out with the popular kids? Okay. Who wants to hang out with do you know what's wrong with people like us? I'm just going to speak for the room. And if I'm not speaking for you, you can just say, not me, bitch. But, and if I am, then, or you don't have to say anything. But we're always kind of ahead of the schedule. you know, in the way we dress or the way we put our makeup on. I know everything that I did, every freaking thing that I did in school in the 80s and 90s. Really 90s, because that's what I'm saying. Like by the time we reach 12 now, our behaviors are solidified. We're here. This is me. This is pretty much what you're going to get with Joanie. Everything that comes after this is only going to just kind of push the little bits I haven't quite figured out over the edge. And that's what happens in the adolescent mind. So in the brain during puberty, as you've heard me say, that's when the mind starts to get bigger. But it's not growing this way. It's folding in on itself. And they call this pruning, or they call this it's like a reset in the brain. And hence the name reset. The language we're using right now is all adolescent. Fucking wake up! Why can't anybody wake up? Just makes me so angry, because I'm sitting here and I'm like, y'all, none of it's fucking real, none of it. But not like these people say, oh, you're in a matrix. No, you're just a teenager. Aliens aren't real. You're using aliens because the fear you have there is being alienated. It's a metaphor for what you're going through. Remember? And nobody likes me. I kind of know what to do. I was an idiot yesterday, and I walked in and I did this and I said that. Now everybody's going to make fun of me, and we don't like you. And, you know, you're not coming to that party. How come I wasn't invited to the party? I fucked that bitch. And you don't get a note. Now you think they're whispering about you, and we got gossips and social scores. Everything that's happening around us right now is high school. If everybody would just chant, go team, instead of wake up, I think we'd all wake up. I think everybody go, oh, fuck, we're in school. Shit. Wake up. You're in class. Okay. You fell asleep in class, and you're having weird, you know, things from the dream world coming into the real world there. Do you see what I mean? Do you know how when you're like in a lucid state, and you're like, you can hear like somebody in the room and they infiltrate your dream, and then you're just like, you know, oh yeah, like I could hear somebody calling my name. They show it in movies all the time. I know it's a thing. And then we all like, oh, you know, I used to have them when I had my baby, and I'd have her there and she'd be nursing. I'd fall asleep with her nursing, and then she would wake up and start nursing again, because we're in the same position. And in my dream, my nipple would twitch. And I go, oh, well, you're dreaming. Your boobie is doing weird things in your dream. Wake up, girl. Baby time. You know what I'm saying? That's what's happening. We're asleep in class, and Schwab and the pandemic, that's all fake. None of that is real. The only thing that is real is that you are 13. You are in school, and you're at home in your bed. Maybe you're still asleep in your bed. I don't know, but we are not in this time right here. We are in high school. We are in the adolescence. Do you hear what I'm saying? So, like, could everybody also wake up like I have? There's this movie about this guy that goes into like one of these spacey things, and they're going to be in space to go to another planet for like, I don't know, 500 years or something. And halfway through, they're in sleep. Halfway through, the guy like wakes up. Like his little machine goes all funky, and he's up, and he's just waking up, and he gets on the thing. and he's alone. Nobody else's pods are awake. He had a malfunction, and now he's going to have to be there by himself for the next 500 years. So what do you think he does? He has a malfunction on another pod, a girl that he found that he thought was cute and wanted to get to know, and he wakes her up. And now they're going to die before they get to that 500 years, right? Because they're not in their hypersleep. So they're going to age and they're going to die. And he doesn't tell her that he woke her up, right? At some point he does in the movie. But that's kind of what it feels like, right? And I'm not just going to wake up one person. Like, I want to go around door to door, knocking on all of y'all's houses. Like the carbon monoxide, boys, you got carbon monoxide. Can't breathe right now. Wake up. You're something wrong. You know, you're not here. Now that's just my imagination. You do recognize them. Make a great idea for a film. If anyone would like to use it, I think that would be an absolutely excellent movie. And I would so watch that because I've never seen anything like that before. Have you? So, but there is a big part of me that I really, I can't hear it anymore. I'm about to have to turn off YouTube and all of it, the TV, I can't do it anymore because it's driving me nuts to hear people say things and then not say things. To hear people, like, we're all in school. They're like, it's like, I even hear them on the news. They say, it's like, we're all in school again. Like, yes, yes. Woo. I'm going to get my pom-poms. You're saying it. We're in school. Do you hear it? Do you hear it? We're being grounded. We're being restricted. We have curfews on us. People are telling us we can't go anywhere unless we clean up our room first, or we finish our homework, or we go see the doctor, or, don't forget to show up for work. And if you don't show up for work, you're going to get a check mark, and maybe McDonald's will fire you and they'll replace you with a robot. And nobody even wanted the McDonald's jobs. Laughable. Is that, what is that, who's the guy that falls asleep in the, no, that's not Rumpelstiltskin. Is that Rumpelstiltskin? Who's the guy that falls asleep in the old man? What's that one? All the passengers. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. And in any given moment, I'm waiting for like the whole thing to just start, because it's going to go, okay, you got it. You see 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 it. It's school. It's school, everybody. We're adolescents. This is our moment to stand up to the bully. This is the moment. If you don't say no to that kid on the sandlot, if you don't stand up to them, if you don't get out of your parents' house because they're abusing you, you are going to die there. Now, humanity is going to go on, okay? It's going to go on. So everyone that gets tricked, everyone that's getting tricked to hide in little bunk, it doesn't matter, right? God says it's going to find you. I think that's really funny when the Bible clearly says you can't hide underground. And all the Christians build, what do they build? Underground bunkers. Do you not read your Bibles? I'm confused. I'm waiting to bully back again. Okay, so the link is, I'm going to put the link back in there because it is open to discussions. I had it, but I see a lot of people have come in now. I was listening to me yabber. And maybe my camera's working because I have 14 people, which is more people than I have had since I've been over here on Ulux Stream. But I have been streaming a lot on Ulux Stream and meeting a lot of new people. That's an intentional thing by me. Because if I can't find something new to learn about, you know what I mean? I'm starting to get bored, if you will. So I want new ideas and new things to do. And I'd write a book, except everybody's writing books. So I don't want to write a book. I don't like to do what other people do. You know what I mean? Okay, bye, Paul. Thank you for coming in. Peace, peace, peace. Okay, I'm going to turn this off for a second. Okay. I'm going to have a smoke. Wow, that's like, I have to totally readjust my whole visual here because So how is everybody today? It's a Sunday. It's evening now. Let's see, my friends, my stones throw away friends. It's like what is that, like 8 o'clock now? It's getting close to your evening time. Do you agree with what I'm saying, though? Does anybody get what I am saying? Do you have questions about what I am saying? Does it make sense? And here's the thing, you guys, I'm not trying to preach to you. You already know what I'm saying. I'm just the one that's going to say this because somebody needs to, and Buffa needs to be sharing what she's sharing. That's why it's important to me that we all share together and have conversations and take turns with our information and have collaborations as opposed to, a me, because my theory that I have only works if you add it to everyone else's. The numbers are there. So if you like gematria, let's talk. Because you want to know why this number or that number, let's look at what the age of that number is. Let's look at what the behaviors of that number is. Let's look what odds mean and evens mean when it comes to development of a child. Those 666 and 333 and 13 and 12 and 10 and 9, all of those numbers have magical meanings in the development of a mind. Nobody talks about that. So let that be like what I can express, right? Same thing with language. You tell me the language that we were using, and let me show you where that fits in behaviors. Like this, where do we have terms like alienation and bondage? Why bondage? Because our fear. We're coming right out of the fear of being bound and gagged. That's our elementary and preschool fears, right? Okay, give me a second. I'll put my camera back on. So it's the fear. The fears come in phases of there's 5 fears, there's 10 stages, 2 stages per fear. There's so many neat things. When we're looking at that timeline of history, I need somebody that knows that timeline of history like the back of their hand so that we can sit down together and I can say, okay, you tell me everything you know about the Middle Ages or ancient times, and I'll tell you everything that is that behavior in a child. And we'll see how many of these things line up and match. How much fun would that be? Wouldn't that be super fun? Okay, I'll put my camera back on. Okay. Hello, Ulick. Ulick gets to see my beautiful face every day. Okay. Come blow your horn. Put you on my community page. Yes, thanks, Paul. Okay, Audi. Definitely bored. And I tune it out a lot. Yeah. Almost like you have to. I know what you mean. I'm getting bored too. Look at all you guys getting bored. We got to come together and start inspiring each other again. Hopefully people will ask more questions. So exactly what I'm saying. My God, you're reading my mind. Yeah. So as we're moving and we're growing and so the bully scenario, the fear that we have before we hit our double digits. So at double digits is your tween years. Double digits is that magic math in the middle, right? Those we got 3 years. 3 years, 10, 11, 12. Those are the only tween years. Double digits with no teens on them. This is a milestone that is unbelievable up until this point. This type of event has not taken place for you since you were in the womb. And it marks an amazing moment in your time where you have a transformation. So we have 3 I am moments in our childhood state. And then we move into another gray zone or tween zone before we move into our young adult years, where we have about 18 to 24. And that's usually when you're in college. So you've got your school, your college, these transitional stages. Now, the brain does something crazy in the tween years. So again, think of the age. This is the moment where you have to defeat whatever it is that's bugging you. This is your rite of passage. So in our ancient cultures, maybe they had the kid go out and have to do some type of, hunt, or, they do some type of something. They have bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, sweet 16. There's a very different reason why we do it that way for girls. But it's this moment for boys, right? How interesting is that? So for boys, that rite of passage, that first stage into manhood, right? It's like, okay, I'm saying I'm a man, and now I've got to prove I'm a man. The first I am comes at 6 years old. At 6 years old, you've completed everything you needed to in order to survive, right? And at 6, you're coming out of the fear of body mutilation and body invasion, because when you're in your toddler years, so you're in your, before you can run really fast without tripping on your face, those toddling and learning to perfect the body, which is what happens in the first 6 years of life. It's the body learning to perfect itself. It has awkward, and it has very little control over itself and the baby's head, and they run and they trip and they can't get away. And so the first two fears that we have there is the annihilation and body mutilation and body invasion, right? At first I had to survive altogether before I can even move. And if I make it through that annihilation, then I'm moving, because movement or curiosity. See, I think the Adam and Eve, I think the story there, the only sin that man ever created was he was curious to move. It represents the movement, the spark, the light bulb. It's the electricity. It's the Frankenstein. It lives. It's that Kundalini, orgasmic type energy, right? Which is what all things are anyway. I'm just, you can only see me because I'm here. If I was over here, you couldn't see me, but maybe that bug could, or that bird could, right? It's just a matter of what I'm able to see, for, or hear, or whatever. What's your frequency? I don't know. slide. That's like the only time I can allow for, like, maybe the debate on things like time travel, but that's ridiculous what they're saying. I'm not going to get in a little umbrella machine and bicycle myself into the future. Come on. The stuff, and then the silly thing is, these ridiculous kids, getting back to kids, do it. Okay, you guys are talking good. All right, so I have my rite of passage, and I have to defeat the bully, stand up to whatever it is, right? So I say to myself, oh, you remember my avatar? Like, watch, I can see, you think I picked these avatars. They kind of do look like me all the time. Watch, let me see if I can find it. Oh, it's Buffett back here. Oh, for Jesus. I didn't even know you were back here.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
I'm just not seeing anything. Oh my God. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're friends. Does it really matter?
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. I don't know why we put these pressures on ourselves. Stop it. I've got, in case music triggers the algo, I'm only here for 1 minute, just to say I went to a women's well-being workshop, but it wasn't advertised as that. It was drum and bass for 3 hours, and oh my god, Joanie, like, I have no voice. That's why I'm saying I'm not going to talk. I've got no voice. My partner has been and supported football, so he's got no voice. I've got no voice. We've got hay fever. We're like two dead sparrows, two birthday children who are going, yeah, yes, my birthday. We're like, I haven't got enough puff. Happy birthday to you. Like, it's the worst.
Okay, say this to me. I got to get closer. I can't hear what you said. Okay, so you were in this. I heard about your husband, but I missed the part, and the kids, but I missed the part about
I went to a workshop.
A workshop for women. Okay, and it was advertised as what? That's what I missed.
So it was a drum and bass well-being workshop.
Okay.
And you spend 3 hours, ladies only. Sorry, men, you'll have to find your own gurus. But when you laugh, I'll laugh. But in 6 hours, imagine half an hour. I've got a really croaky voice. I can't speak. Got half an hour, 3 hours, 6 different activities. So we've got the write your option. I say hello, welcome. First bit. Second bit. Put your angst onto a piece of paper. To try not name people, obviously, because that's just really witchery. But obviously,
Right.
then just put it in the little cauldron of fire, you know. And I do mean it was the size of a cooking pot. Like, it wasn't like a bonfire or anything like that. But you know, it's the whole idea. Before you come to today, get rid of your shit before you come into the workshop. My God, this studio! You walk down a high street, you're going house, go through a back gate, about 100 yards down this pathway, and oh my goodness, they had wind chimes, Buddhist things. You know, when you just go, oh my God, I don't care if I get to the studio, I could just stop here and just sit on a picnic blanket. But basically at the back of a long narrow garden was this studio, and then we were in there, and then you dance to her preference of music is drum and bass, but you know, it doesn't offend me at all, because you can dance to the fast beat, you can dance to the slow beat, and 10 to 15 women.
Yeah.
It was a women's workshop. I have never been to one of these before. If you've been to one of these before and you're going, oh my God, she's just such a newbie, I'm going, oh my God, well, this is the first time I've been to any one of these things. And it was really great.
What are you banging on drums and yelling in the air?
Oh gosh, no, that's what I'm trying to say. It's the second one. Put your things down on a piece of paper, put that in the cauldron, you go back. Yeah, we did the I am, and you have to do the I am. That's why I've got no voice. I am. Tap your chest into the thing. And you know what I mean? And then you have to shout it. I want to shout louder. Yeah. Then you shout, and then you go quiet, then you go whisper, then you go shout, then you go whisper. Anyway, so we did the shout. That was probably the second thing. And then the third thing was probably... No, so there was like a bit just dance, just close your eyes, do a thing to music. But we did do energy clearing, starting from the chakras. So the first going down is touch your chakra, throw it away. So you have to go down all the chakras. And then the second time you go through the chakras, inviting the good energy in. Well, I've never done that before. I'm up for it. I did it.
Do you think it worked?
No. Well, say no.
Okay.
Because another thing we did hand massage on partner opposite, like you're paired up with person appropriate to you. So you do like you're shown. We did womb, pelvic floor, a water bottle that you sit on. Oh my goodness, I'll have to explain that in another video. Like,
This is very bizarre. This sounds like a speed dating course for psychiatry.
No, but you know
like
when you
going
just
through a whole bunch of different sessions all at once to see which session you want to try again.
Oh, but for me,
Did
speed
the cauldron
dating.
work? Do you like the massaging?
Oh no. But for me, I'd rather do 6 of these in half an hour, and it's all done in a couple of hours, than spend 1 hour of my life doing one of these. Does that make sense? So for me, speed dating, this suited me perfect. It was really good. No, honestly. And then someone says,
at least 5 numbers out of that one.
oh God. Well, someone else said they spent like 5 hours doing what we did in like 2 hours. And I'm going, 11, 12, 1, 2. Yes, we spent 3 hours. I'm thinking, nah, like I'm quite fast, like, and so is the leader. So I know, like, this was the right speed of time for me. And most people have been to a bit of whatever we were doing, and then we did the crystal flowers and crystals on a diagram, and you put all lovely words around it. We did tummy massage. So we did a bit of womb healing, and the person who was the second person leading was a lady person who does lady basically lady womb, almost like incontinence, that's her profession. So
are you what now see, maybe I'm thinking, but it sounds like you're saying this woman is going to give me a finger job or something. What are you saying? She's going to tickle my womb. What? I'm not liking this at all.
Oh my God.
What you're talking about.
Oh my God.
What is she doing? The way you're describing it, though, Buffy, you wouldn't just come right out and say it. I was like, what are you leaving out?
Okay, right. There's about 10 or 15 of us in a workshop. I have already said, how do you get to your 40s and not know about womb cleansing? It's just love your womb. You just put your hands on your tummy. It's no internal shizzle. It's an internal procedure.
Oh, that's exactly yes. Okay.
It's on your tummy. It's like love yourself. Love yourself and love your tummy.
I get it. Okay, that's way different.
Oh my God.
I apologize, man. I'm projecting my dirty thoughts apparently.
Yeah. You're thinking it's like some internal procedure.
You're gonna get out a wand like in the night. Is this like something that the doctors used to do in the 1800s, 1900s? The girl
wave it across him,
and the doctor has to be called to get her off so she can go back to church.
I'm gonna swerve that question. I know what you mean, but I'm gonna swerve an answer.
How weird is that? That's what the rich people were doing. That's what they were doing. While you were working and doing your Hail Marys, they were fainting in their tiny dresses and having a good old time.
Oh no, but this is like Medici family, isn't it? Because this is like I have some smelling salts for Hypno. I have some smelling salts that will make you aroused. Now get the two mixed up and who knows what happens. Mm-hmm. This is the Palace of Versailles, 14th century.
I bet he's got some smelling salts. Something smells fishy. Okay, maybe I went too far there, but you get the idea. Look, I got to make my life fun again because it's sucking at the moment. I have to laugh.
We need more life. Oh my God, we need the meme: life, love, and laughter. Oh my God,
that's it.
I hate that shit, but it's kind of appropriate. Yeah. No, and yeah, there was drumming, but you know the drumming. I'm going. I've heard and seen about this. Boom, boom, boom. You know, and you're going. Now, when I go to drumming, it's in an Irish pub. There's a fiddle. There's some. Oh my gosh, there's some unforeseen things you can't talk about, like liquor. But you know, oh gosh, I'm doing like the shaky hand with my hand. You have a oh my gosh, why can't I, where's Unique? Where's Unique? What's the drum in Ireland? And you beat it left and right, but quite quickly. But it's not harsh. It's a very soft drum. So the beaters are covered with like animal skin, and it's a very soft leather wand.
Like a native drum more.
Yes. So, but when they beat it, so we had two leaders, two teen teachers, and I know one of them from
I'm
Recce.
not in chat land. That's you, Lick, in the chat. I'm not typing in there.
Oh, I can't even see the chat. No, just read what he says, because it's got a name, the drum. Just ask him.
But I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. But the drum is a soft sound. It's like it's like a background, and then in Irish folk, then you have the fiddle that goes like you have like the melody, and then you have a string, like a 4-string, or an accordion that will go over the top. And folk music, you never go away from a folk music sitting in a pub going, oh, I feel really angry. Like you always you go, oh my God, I want more. It goes to you. It resonates. There's something about the resonation.
I love that. That's one of my favorite. Even as I was the only weirdo kid in high school that'd be going to listen to folk people in Atlanta. I love the music.
Yeah, because the resonation of music, you go, it's just beautiful. So in this
that way, it's the frequency of the notes together. I'm just not figuring a lot of that stuff out in more detail.
But it's calm, and it's calming.
Yeah,
it's like there's the drum. So when you do like the Well Woman workshop, and I have seen this in other things, and I've never been present to this kind of drum in this kind of manner, and I was thinking, am I going to be freaky Friday and freak out, or will I go with it? And it was actually okay, and it's just like boom boom, but then as you go through it, go boom 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 boom, and then when we had like the dance music, drum and bass, and then afterwards you have the drum, you can make it loud. And if you have your eyes, when you have your eyes closed and the person moves around the room, it's just really, oh gosh, I've got hiccups. It's really good.
Have you, these are, I've been to drum circles.
Oh yeah, so this is drum circle, basically, yeah. I've never been to one of these things. This is my first time, and I'm just going.
They're so good. I love drum circles. I'll go just to hang out. I don't play the drums. I just want to sit near them. I think they're fun. You wander across one in the woods. You're like, drum circle. Hell yeah, I'm following the drums.
But I was a bit like, I don't know what to expect. So just going with an open mind. But it was good. Anyway, I'm going to drop off panel. I just want to encourage the other ladies come forward. But literally, I've just been on a Well Woman thing, and we did that.
That's really interesting. I'm glad you shared that with us.
Yeah. No. Oh gosh. They don't let you go home all high as a kite. We then had we did hand massage. You do on your partner. Then you do tummy massage on yourself. Right. And then we did a space meditation. And then the space meditation, I had a blue blanket with me. And oh my God, I had amethyst on my third eye, had rose quartz on my forehead. I can't remember its name, but I had that on my tummy. And oh my goodness, one poor woman, she put this really powerful crystal on her throat. She was coughing up whatever was blocked in her chakras. And you know, when you just go, I don't believe, but I understood the poor woman that was coughing. I understood that when she put something that was a blockage, she had to cough it out. Like imagine it's like this is like Alien, and you're going, it's just a stone. How can it do that? And you go, just don't ask too many questions.
Yeah, there's
it just
a part of me
works.
that does think there's something to some of that stuff, and just because everything does have its own different frequency, and for all I know, maybe quartz does vibrate at some weird frequency that interacts with my kidney and breaks a stone apart. How could that not be any weirder than any of the other? At least that's from the earth. I'd believe that way before I believe some guy in a factory knows how to make something to make me feel better.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? If my mother made it for me, then obviously it was good at one point for something. So I don't know. I'd buy that stuff way before I would. So in other words, I'd pay to go see a crystal healer if I believed the person really had knowledge.
Yeah. If you have a trusted,
I'd go to a doctor.
If you have a trusted adult.
Exactly.
I left my amethyst outside, and today the plants I was going were dead inside. I put them outside and went, flipping hell, they're flipping dead. I put the amethyst next to it. There's green shoots today. Look, I'm just going to leave the crystal there. I'm not saying there's anything in it, but I'm going to be doing the copper electroculture this summer. And I do believe in ethereal electroculture. So
that is interesting stuff. If I had the energy and the time if I wanted to go into the city, you know, there's a couple classes at those places that I wouldn't mind taking, just to learn the basics of stuff, you know. But I hate them, so I won't go to them. And you know, and I don't like going.
You have to be around other people. And today I feel sick as a dog, and later on, and I'm going, am I sick from the coma? Or am I just you are told, like, if you've ever been to energy healing, or even when I go for like sports massage and chiropractic, the next day you feel like you got flu. You're exuding all the badness, and you can feel like, I literally, my head, I put the amethyst, I put the rose quartz on my head. I've got hay fever anyway. My whole eyes and head are just so heavy, bunged. Like I feel bunged up with like flu or cold. But tomorrow I'll probably feel like $1 million.
Well, my stepmom is a massage therapist, right? And she uses the stones and the music and aromatherapy for her, and she does it on like elderly and people who are disabled. So she does it as a type of, she's a nurse, kind of like that. Anyway, she told me, because every time I would get massage, I would be sick as a dog, right? So it was almost not even worth it, you know. And what she told me is that when you're having that detoxification, Melissa knows what I'm talking about. After all those toxins have been squeezed out of the muscles and pulled,
you feel rough as shit. Like, I feel like I've got the worst hangover ever.
Exactly. That's the
it's just, you feel you've got no energy.
Yeah.
Everything feels weak, and you're going, and the children are going, it's my birthday. Going, I just want to be left alone.
Yeah. No, that's part of the process.
It's a purge. Yeah, the purge is really, and I think people go along to these things and go, hello, I've just turned up for the day. And then the next day you go, oh my God. And now I do know about this because I've had it before, but it's like an elephant. Well, especially where I play the crystals, it's like an elephant sitting on my face. I've got my hay fever, I've got my allergies, and tomorrow and next week I'll be like, oh my God, I feel like a different woman. But at the moment I don't feel like a superhero, I feel like a super defunct. So I want to defunct out. I'm a defective. Please, can I defect out?
Yeah, exactly. Then you almost don't want to do it again.
No, but you do. You do. You as an adult, you should be brave enough. You should be brave and confident enough to just go, this is what I need at this particular time. It's going to be horrible, but the benefits afterwards will give me superpower energy to deal with the shit that is going on in my life. And that's basically why you're doing it. And then there's, like you said, timing, consequence, and you're going, why has this come into my life? Like oh gosh, yeah, the tune, oh gosh, I can't even, if I sing it, I don't know if you'll get a strike. So tell me, what do you do? Suddenly I found you. I don't know what I should do. But I've been doing like Kiss FM, and I've been listening to dance tunes, and every one of them are like, yep, I'm reliving my youth. And everyone is fantastic.
We're supposed to do that. That's the Benjamin Button. We're supposed to go back.
Right. I'm going to drop out, but I just want,
Okay.
Other strong women to come forward, because they are far more interesting than me fluffing, I can tell you.
Oh no, everybody loves you, Buffa. Stop it.
Oh God, for Pete's sake, I'm rubbish. Look, I'm rubbish. Look, I'm just gonna, I'll go back to my hole.
Whatever.
I'll go back to my hole. Look, I just need to regroup myself. I love you. Bye.
Bye, Bye. Oh, everybody needs a Buffa in their life. Oh, Buffa. Ooh, Buffa bee. Little bee. When it's little, it doesn't look like a bee. And I'm like, what is that? But then when I make it big, I see the bee. I see it looks like a bee. Why are the stripes on it? Oh, I see it now. Oh, I was looking at it. I had it looking at it different. I see it. Now, those are the little wings there. Okay. There should be... That's the drum. Oh, that's the drum. That's what he was saying. I thought that was another name for a detoxification. Excellent. Yes. Working on. Rod is my old man, in case anyone doesn't know that. So be nice to him, or you'll be kicked out of the club. I'm just kidding. I like we do love you, Buffa. Yeah. Excellent. Okay. Well, that was fun. I suppose I don't have anything else too much to ramble on about. I could just keep talking about. I'm just going to come back tomorrow and talk about it the next day and talk about it. I feel like I'm in, or maybe I will just ramble on. Like these are confessions to self. I'm currently feeling crazy. I'm feeling like I am in a movie, like a million of them all at once, like I feel like I'm in a dream world where like other people's dreams, wishes, inspirations, aspirations, ideas are permeating into my dream world. I'm having the sensation. I'm gonna channel the ether for a moment. This is me. I don't know if anyone can hear me. Okay, I have no idea where I am. Like, I could be in another time. Somebody needs to save me, is what I'm saying. I'm calling out, Mayday, Mayday. Can anyone hear me? I'm having this sensation of thank you. Okay, let's do that. I don't. Oh, it doesn't matter, right? Oh, do some tunes, AB. Set up some tunes and we can do tunes. I need some background music anyway, AB. That's what I need. I need some background music. Have you ever thought about what you would make your own playlist? What songs would be on your playlist? So, like, do you remember when we were kids and we would do those stupid time capsules at like every school I went to was doing a time capsule. And we would throw ideas and what should go in the time capsule. And then, each class would put, we put our little box for the time capsule. It'd just be this big, box. And every class put their own little unique bits about them. Do you know there is proof of me on this planet? There is proof that I live here. Here is the proof. Someone go and cache. We're in. That's the game we're in right now. We're geocaching. That's the film. That's the reality. That's the timeline. The dimension of the caching. It's the caching dimension, if that helps. I'm not sure who's going to get the signal. So I feel like, yeah, there's some time capsules on some elementary schools in Phoenix, Arizona. They would be in towns like Mesa, and they would have been in from the 1970s and 80s. Booker T. Washington was the name of one of my elementary schools. I can remember that one. I think that's the one that I used to get popsicles at, and that's why I remember that one. If you're really good, you could get a ticket, and after school, you could go get a popsicle with your ticket, or you could get a popsicle for 25 cents. Well, I got a lot of tickets, so I didn't get that many tickets. Do you see what I'm saying? Because I had to wait till the ticket rotation had gone back around through the class to get back to myself. So I would always stay really well behaved because I wanted to earn that one time where she would go, oh yeah, it's Joanie's time. And I would get a ticket. Otherwise, I had to steal 25 cents from my parents. My parents' change jar. My dad would throw his change in a big giant pickle jar. But I'm here. I'm on this planet. There's parts of me here, I'm pretty sure. I went and looked on Google Maps for my grandmother's house because I wanted to see if it's still there. And I couldn't find it on the street. I think I know which house it was. But let me just tell you something. Every house on that block now is completely different. I know that address. Right? And now on the Google Earth, all the houses look different. Hey, AB.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Oh.
Are you here? Legit.
Am I
Let me know that you're not a bot. I feel like I'm in a future movie right now.
Joanie, I will never come in as a bot, and no one will imitate me as a bot.
All right. Is that okay. All right. I'm gonna believe you.
I'm gonna believe you this time.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh, he glitched for a second. I'm just kidding.
Oh, jeez.
Is that Heather that I hear back there? Is Heather back there too?
Oh,
right
yes. Hi.
She's right there.
Okay, good. All right. Heather's here. Okay. All right. Now, I feel like I'm in after the apocalypse, and this is all we got left, and we're all like kind of stuck at the moment, waiting for something. Nobody can move from their little bubbles. Mm-hmm.
Like the last man on earth.
Yes, exactly. That show.
We're just the last individuals
like,
here. We're like, what do we do?
Who else is here? Am I it? And it's like, oh, there's a handful of other people. Are you real?
I'm
He's
real.
porn bombing, dressed as a plumber.
He's porn bombing. He dressed as How did you know, Land? You're reading my mind. Get out of it. Did you know that I think for plumbers?
It's the Mario movie. It sold it. It sold it all the way.
Oh, man. You know what does the handyman? There's something about it. You know, I'm going to blame Hollywood because it's something about, like, do you remember what was his name? Russell, whatever. In
On the boat?
Overboard. He was so cute.
It was such a funny movie. It's like, I don't remember. You raised these kids for me. And it's like,
I love that movie.
That was such a good classic movie. They don't make shit like that
Which
anymore.
one?
Overboard.
Oh, with Goldie Hawn.
Goldie Hawn and
yeah.
Russell.
Yeah. Russell Brand.
She's having an out of body near death experience. She's sitting here. She's going, this doesn't look familiar to me. I don't remember kids. Where did kids come from? What? That's what it feels like right now. What spaceships?
What I love,
and the thing drops down and tells me UFO is a spotted above.
Well, I mean, you can look into that movie even deeper, and you think about it, and it just shows how easily manipulated the human mind is with a group of individuals surrounding you. So if you're around a bunch of individuals who tell you these things, you're my mom, you have to do this, and you're like, I don't remember any of it, but I'm just gonna do it because it's what I'm right. I got to get in to fit in because I'm not going to stick out and be a sore thumb, and then I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? So it's like one of those situations to where it's just interesting how the man with just his children can manipulate a grown woman into believing some fantasy. It's a movie, of course, but it's the same mentality of what they're trying to ingrain into society through it.
Do you feel often that, I think it's a quote, I bet you know it, so I'm going to ask you because you'll be able to do it better than me, but it's something like, it's an older quote, so it's not one that's new. Something about when nonfiction becomes fiction or something like that, or the fiction becomes reality. I think it was some writer or something was saying that because I think it was back.
Does it go along with does art imitate life or life imitate art argument?
That's it. You translated me.
I know what you're saying. I listened to you enough where I know exactly where your brain's going, girl.
You're reading my mind. That I feel like that is happening.
Well, it's all about making sure, like, it's not reading the mind, it's noticing. It's all the information's there. Just whether you're willing to fucking see it or not.
That's my buddy Basil. We were just talking about you. That's crazy.
Massachusetts grower.
That's fantastic.
You know what's funny is I didn't even hear the term masshole until I went to Maine to visit Maine, you know?
Yes.
I went out there and they're all like, people coming up from like, oh, there's that masshole. I'm like, Oh, that's funny. You guys like just the whole fucking state of Massachusetts. They're like masking. I'm like, oh, that's funny.
Oh God, I love it. Yes. That's beautiful. Bowls came together. Because the woman always comes with the egg.
So you just want it like drop down?
That's what I was gonna do. Is kind of like drizzle it over little bits and then cheese, chili cheese tots.
Ooh.
Yeah,
good.
junk food. Junk food.
Junk food. I got some tater tots in my freezer.
That's what I was like. We were like, what do you want for lunch? I'm like, I don't know. She was gonna do some chips and cheese. I'm like, I can make some tots and make chili cheese tots. I had them in there, and then you're like, come on up and talk to me. So I'm like, okay. And Heather's like, I'll finish the tots.
The tots. Totally. I'm glad that you did. Yeah, I'm just, I'm having one of those moments where I'm just kind of, I don't know what's happening here. I don't feel like, I
It's
feel like
frazzled. Everywhere.
There's this big part of me sometimes, Will, I think that if I just literally everything that was electronic, carried it outside of my house to the dump and left it there and came back here, all of that would fade away. It would just go.
I would say yes and no. Yes, it could help, but at the same time, you don't want to make your life and well-being affect others, like the husband and children, so on. So you're like, I don't want to bug all you guys because I don't like it, but I know in those situations, if you
that makes them all they're all part of my imagination in the first place. See, I have to get rid of the idea that I'm in part of theirs, and that's why I haven't done it, because I'm afraid.
But whenever I get to that point to where I have a hard time finding, like, I feel lost almost inside. I have to take that time alone. I go out in the woods. I find a nice little peaceful spot. I sit and I think of fucking nothing. It's all about calming them. And when you're you're out in nature and all that, it hits you like a fucking wave. You're just like, and then you just start thinking clear, and all of a sudden the thoughts that you couldn't really grasp start just popping in front of you. And you're like, have your little journal with you, write them shit down.
Right.
Bring a joint with you to smoke before.
Oh yeah,
I'll roll one. But bring a joint with you. Go smoke a joint. Sit down. You don't have to be cross-legged or anything like that. Find a comfortable position. Bring a chair if you want. And it's all about just being comfortable. And like once you get into the mind state where you can calm it, like all those problems come to a head. They rise to the top like cream. And then you're like, that's it.
That's what I need.
It helps.
You know what I feel like doing?
That's what I have to do. That's what I have to do to be able to make myself more calm, know what I'm doing, stay on path, not getting distracted.
Mm-hmm.
But we're all different. That's just what works for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm at a crossroads. I'm graduating. I'm going through my rite of passage. Well, I've passed that point, and I'm coming out of the whatever, right? I'm coming out of the dazed and confused to, reference my own generation. And the dizziness and the clouds are clearing. And I just need to do something different. I don't know what. I've got a few ideas. I like interviewing people. I've been enjoying doing that. And I think I'm getting better at it.
At doing what?
Interviewing people.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
I just want to ask regular people regular questions. Like ask you, like, tell me about yourself.
Well, that's how it works with conversation. Like when you start, if you don't know what to talk about, have them talk about themselves.
Right.
No, really.
And as long as you're attentive while you're listening to somebody when they're talking about themselves or something, and then you start asking questions about what they're talking about, You're like,
Right.
well, clarify this, this, and this. And they're like, oh my God, he's paying attention. He likes this. I'm going to start talking more. And then you just start going down these other roads. And
Yeah, I'm practicing that, Will. I'm working on it. I'm aware of it, I'll say. So don't be judging me on it just yet. I'll let you know when I figured it out.
No, you're good.
You've never been terrible, Joanie.
No,
I
no.
mean.
You are a social creature.
So what other ideas did you have?
What now?
What other ideas did you have? Like the interviewing was one.
Oh yeah, and then I have actually from when I've I have written things. That's one of the things that Will and I have had in common. As a young age, we were little writers, and
Yeah.
we've been published, and we've gone there. So it's not outside me, and I've never wanted to write a novel. I've never been a big book person. I always had dreams of writing for like newspapers and magazines and Reader's Digest when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I don't know why the Reader's Digest, but then I talked to some. I was listening to other people that were writers. They said the same thing, and I thought, okay, that's fine. Then it doesn't make me too weird, to be that.
No. I think that's a huge accomplishment. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would write like mock stuff. I wrote fan fiction, but
Sure.
anyway. So I don't know. The only reason I thought about doing that, I thought about kind of locking myself up for a while and seeing if I couldn't spit out a script of some sort. I think I want to write a film, and I think I have a connection or two that I could at least have it read to somebody, given to somebody, even if it's just a little guy in a college. I'm not saying I'm not saying I'm getting to Ron Howard or anything.
No.
But in Atlanta, I know a couple guys that do, that are in the industry. Sure. And I think if I handed it to him and it was good enough, one of them might go, I got a guy I can hand this to. Let him see what, even if they fuck it all up and just don't do any of it.
It's just still fun.
Just the idea of it sounds funny to me.
Yeah. Well, it's all about who you know sometimes. So, as the fact that you already have, a couple people that you know of, at least it's not like you're starting from the bottom or scratch. Like, I wouldn't know anybody.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying these guys would be able to do it, but if you know somebody who's going to school to be a sound tech, he knows somebody who's going to school to be a director or something,
Yep.
So I do know that they know each other.
Well, there is that website, I forget the name of it, but it's like you want peer review sort of like on your story, and you can have it like to where it's yours. It's not like it's copyrighted, but like it's tied to you to where no one can like really steal it, but people can go through, call it onto that. Other people go through and start reading script like, oh my God, I like this, and they'll contact you. Can I buy this from you?
Yeah. That's an interesting idea.
Especially if you just write a dozen of them.
Give me like $50. I really think. Here's what I'm thinking. I think I want to be
$500 to $5. It's interesting that they want it.
Yeah, exactly. You just give me an autograph. Give me a free copy of the movie. That's good enough for me. I don't care. But I when I was a kid, I used to think I categorized myself as like a professional brainstormer. I think I have these really neat ideas that are different than what everything else is being put out there. And if I can't get my ideas out, in this way, maybe I can turn them into my own sci-fi little movies, or maybe inspire scripts that are based off of a vague idea that I give about a future that has this, or this. Here's the plot, here's the thing, and then they buy that concept and they write their own script off of it.
How do you think the Marvel universe was created?
Job has to exist because in comedy, there's people that sell jokes all the time. So comedians write jokes and sell them to other comedians. So there has to be people that inspire the same type of stuff in films, I would say. And so I think that would be cool. And if there's not, maybe it can be the very first one.
Well, a lot of it is the writing world in Hollywood is more like a mob. And it doesn't matter if you have an award-winning, beautiful idea, this, that, or the other. If they don't want it out, it's not going out. and then you start going in with a private film studio doing whatever to make it. It will not be allowed in theaters because they're connected with the mafia. They will not be allowed to be, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
You won't be able to have it on Netflix. You won't be able to have it on this. You're like, well, what the fuck do I do?
Yeah.
How do I get my art out there? And like now people are doing different platforms for the movies themselves. And then it's like a pay per play, or they're free, but you have to have a subscription for the website. Or
so if you're a young script writer and you're having a trouble coming up with an idea, you can go through my categories of ideas and pick one. Joyce.
No. Do you know where all of our movie ideas, the good ones, go? China and India.
Works for me. I don't care.
I think it's beautiful. They in India, like a lot of their action movies have some of that, like some of our best, like there's our actors, American actors are in more foreign films than you would fucking believe. Like Bruce Willis, a shit ton of Bollywood films and shit like that, as like the superstar type shit or the villain or whatever.
Yeah.
Movies in America have gone downhill. I mean, I'd have to say probably one of the best places would be France for actual filmmaking.
That would be fun. I'm that generation. Heather, we're the generation where we were going to Paris on our senior trip, right? Do you remember that generation?
Yeah, I did not. Like
our French class had it.
Oh yeah, you could go to, but it wasn't a senior trip though. It was just the French class.
It was second year French.
Oh yeah, but that wasn't a senior year though.
I know.
Oh,
I was saying in Benzie, it was the second year French.
Well, yeah, no, said it. Yeah. I'm saying it wrong. You were usually a junior or senior instead of second year. Yep. Yeah. You were upperclassmen. Yeah, I was wrong. You were right. Yeah. I didn't do that either. And I was in the friend group that was going to backpack through Europe, for a year. The pre-Hostel movies, that was us. That's what those movies were made off of. The kids like us that hitched a backpack. I did have a friend that did that though. He actually did. So
that's cool.
I did it in the United States.
You would have had similar. I didn't really get to do like that. I had other things to do, but yeah, I would have done that. That sounded fun. I would have backpacked. I would have been right on that. Do you know one of my biggest regrets?
I usually will put up a panel every time if there's people who are interested. But if there are people who are just going to come up on stream and play on their phone to where we're not talking and it's nothing, then I don't do a panel. Right. That's the only reason why I don't. It's because I don't want to be sitting here going, okay, I'm waiting for conversation. And somebody's just like, who texting? Like, we're talking. I'm busy. Well, it's fine. Do what you got to do.
Right. Yeah, no, I like to talk to people when we're on a panel. It's more fun when you have back and forth.
Well, and I like to have like decent conversation. It's not always about, what weed is the best weed or this or that. It's like I can handle enough of that, but eventually it's like we all smoke. Okay.
Yeah.
Move on. We all grow.
Yeah.
Move on.
You kind of have to sometimes bounce around.
There's bigger fish to talk about or bigger subjects than the cultivation of a habit.
Well, that I think the habit helps you cultivate ideas.
Oh no, agreed. But it's like we don't sit here and talk we don't have cigarette streams.
Right. Let's do one.
So
that sounds like a fabulous idea.
We don't have cigarette streams, but then you have people who get drunk and just want to be constantly drunk and see how far they can push it. And then you got those drinking streams. I mean, I drink, but I'm trying to stay here. I don't want to leave. I'm putting everybody have a good day.
That's a hard one to get through. That's going to be a tough one for people. But I think once they do it again, I remember our power went out for like 3 days. And at first it was rough for wee one, but by the third day, she wasn't in any hurry to turn anything on. You know, she was doing just fine. She'd found plenty of the things to do.
I was talking to
yeah.
Heather about that just this morning. I'm like, you know, if there's one thing I could go back in my childhood and change, the only thing I would change was my access to video games.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have completely not had that in my life.
Were you really like? Were you kind of instantly attracted?
Oh, I was completely obsessed. And I mean, I was, like I said, in high school, I was 280 pounds, short, fat kid. And all I cared about was going home, playing on the video games or this or that. My friend was the video games or the kids who played video games. We talk about video games. And it's like,
right.
There's more to life than the digital world. And I didn't take advantage of things in the reality around me because I wasn't taught to notice those things and to appreciate those things at the time, you know. But that's the one thing I would bring up. It's something I look back at now. It's nothing I can change.
You're making me
But
think.
Making me think.
Need to find a new page.
Tammy Shelby, smoking weed doesn't make people lazy. It just allows people to be lazy. I'm not lazy when I'm smoking. In fact, I actually work a little bit harder when I'm doing everything and just I zoom along. But it does give people the opportunity, the cop out, the excuse to go, I'm not going to do anything because I'm stoned.
I can do that sober.
I can do that sober. It's called procrastination.
Yeah. I don't need anything to help.
But also, it is a different for people like me who smoke copiously every day, all day, versus somebody who smokes only at night and only so much because they actually still get high. Like, you know, I get stoned, but I don't get like, whoa, I'm fucking ripped. You know, you can give me a moon rock and I'd still be like, man, I'm high, but I'm like, it's just marijuana. Well, exactly. If you use the excuse and you do it, then it's not the marijuana making you lazy. You're just a lazy person.
Probably.
And that's okay.
That's what it is.
And that's okay. It's like people are like, I don't like onion.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like raw onion. I like cooked onion. Okay, then so you don't like raw onion because that's what you don't like. You still like this, that, and the other. Let's just make it spot.
Okay.
No, I was talking about that thing.
When you were talking about, because how old are you? Well, you're in your 30s, right?
35.
That's what I thought. Okay. I'm like tarot read you. I'm gonna what are we gonna call? I'm gonna make my own generation like tarot way of reading people using just a few. Just talk. Let me ask you just a few questions, and I'll give you your own little synopsis about yourself. Okay. No, not you specifically, but I just wanted to use your age is what I was referring to because I don't really know about the other stuff. But you were saying that you found it quite young, that you were kind of instantly. So did you have an older brother that also played video games? Did you have somebody older than you that played it first? Is that how you were introduced, or did your parents introduce you?
Well, we are all introduced to it at the same time because in my generation where we're at, video games were coming to be.
Right. Okay. That's what I was wondering. So you
my brother was 14. I was 8.
Right.
Or 9 or whatever. Mm-hmm. It all came into the house at the same time.
Yeah. The reason that I want to note that is because that there is a well-known, everyone that has a siblings knows this. Okay. So that means that the guys in control of things also know this. That when you have, so why 9/11? That's what we're talking about. It's that question here. So when they're going to release video games, now they already know that if a certain kid, if a child is introduced to violence earlier or sex earlier or this earlier, they're more likely to have it in the future, right? That the odds go up exponentially. So by having that come in, they know that that's not just going for the 14-year-olds. That is also going for the 4-year-old, the 8-year-old, and every sibling that comes from. And that's the generation that you guys were, that's a direct blow on that generation. You were struck, and you weren't even old enough to realize what was happening. And
Right.
so then the outcome is that what is the outcome? As adults, you struggled to have jobs. Most of you had a lot of debt or didn't get out of your parents' house. You had the coddling. I'm not talking about you, Will. We're talking about the majority of people that are in the world. Right. And now they're still addicted. I knew people that ruined their marriage, relationships consistently, always an argument. It became arguable like money in a marriage.
Yeah.
Video games did. And then it was the only time that the kids were playing was when they were hanging out with dad while he was playing. And so now you've got babies in the laps of men playing video games, a whole generation.
Yep. Well,
so I would say that if I was,
the cellular telephone, the smartphone, when those came out, it was another game changer like the video game. Because now children or young adults, they're going through school having one of these in their pockets, having them all around, doing their homework and doing it with that.
Right.
Imagine if you had that as oh my God. And it's almost a point to where they're becoming lazy, to where they're not memorizing this information. They're not actually learning. They're just repeating, and they're becoming easier. They're teaching kids how to be repeaters even easier. Here's a device to make you fit in.
And
you're struggling?
Go for an answer. Just trust an answer, because I need to know something and I ask it, it tells me, and that's just it. God spoke, period. End of story. God spoke. My Alexa says, my Alexa only gives me the best answer. God has spoken. They do these things. But I would like to, when I'm writing my report, right, and I'm putting my book together about my thesis, right, I'm going to note that about the millennial generation and the cuspers that were there, because I was there dating and babysitting when that at Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I was an Atari kid. So I got an Atari at 6. And so I'm dating the boys that grew up with the Ataris and right. And
yeah, exactly. A whole different situation.
Yeah.
It wasn't all encompassing.
But it was interesting to see. I dated some boys that would play like you. They would skateboard 99% of the time, but then 1% of the time they were playing video games when it would be raining, or something like that. And then I dated the boys that would play the video games in between LARPing sessions. Again, it was raining. Really, I'm thinking about, I dated some weird people. Anyway, but then I dated a few boys that was the instant go-to. Let's go to the arcade. I'm just standing there. I hate the arcade.
I don't want to do that.
I never. And if I am playing a game, I'm like 2 rows down. We're not even, hey, you want some chips and cheese? I'm going to concessions like we're in Las Vegas. This isn't a date. So, I remember experiencing that. Heather, did you have dates like that?
No, I didn't date when I was young. Like, I didn't date when I was like in high school.
She was a scholar
skated.
And a figure skater.
I'm not saying like it just was not really a thing, and I was busy.
Well, no, you tried to, like with your school, you wanted to be a good student. You did well in school.
Well, yeah, but I skated and then
figure skating that took up all your extracurricular time.
Yeah, but so I didn't really, I can't relate to that exactly, but I know what you're kind of saying. I mean, it happens.
Because I think it's fun to just date just about anybody and everybody that would ask me out. I was that.
Yeah, okay, this is fun.
Yes.
Sure. No, I mean, I get that. You're just like, well, we'll see who this person is. It's like you're just kind of open to whatever comes your way.
Yep.
Our boys were. I was that boy crazy. So it's fair. My whole life, though, I just liked boys. Not as a kid, I just wanted to play with them. I just didn't like girls. Girls, if I had the option, right?
Yeah.
If I had a choice. The boys were funnier to me. They were weirder and more interesting. Girls were predictable and, you know, and scared. And I could, if something about boys were just more fun. It was more attractive. Mm-hmm. And so I've always had that, you know, just fascination with the male species in itself. So,
Yeah.
so I was a little boy crazy for a minute, but not until I was a teenager. You know, before that, I was fine being friends, and even in high school, fine being friends. I wasn't like that. I wasn't a slut or anything like that. I just like hanging out with people. You wanted to go out. I ended up mudding, frogging, you know, camping. You just end up, where am I? I don't even know where. We're in the middle of the swamp. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Sure. You know, you just never knew what the night was going to be like. We went up to the downtown Atlanta has a big, it's called the Sundial. And it's this tall building, and at the top of it, it rotates so you can see the. Anyway, we just went out there and walked in that building. It was open. We didn't break in. We just walked in back then. We just did stuff. I wandered around on all the floors of the business rooms.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. One of my biggest regrets was I had a chance to go skydiving when I was 17. So I had some friend. I was working at McDonald's of all freaking places. That's how stupid this story is. So I apologize for my dumbness. But I was working at McDonald's, and a couple of my friends came in and said, "Look, a couple people backed out to go skydiving.
You want to go?
You want to go?" And I'm like, "Fuck, I'm working. I'll leave."
Yeah.
I just couldn't leave. I would have had to literally leave because they were just on their way. So they happened to run into me. It wasn't like they thought of me. They ran into me on their way out. And just get in the car. Let's go. We're going. Come on. I ended up quitting the job not too long after that. Told them to go fuck themselves. Walked out. And I thought, what? You know, I always felt, why didn't I walk out that day? What? Never got an opportunity again. But then I had some friends that called me and asked me to go on a cruise once. And I did just kind of go, okay, I'll go.
Sounds fun. Let's do it.
Yeah. That was fun.
Yeah, sometimes those spontaneous things are some of the best.
Yeah, I bet I
It's
would
like
like to
fate
skydive.
interjecting itself into your life to hijack your routine to give you an experience that you probably never had and you probably need.
Maybe I'll get sucked up in a tornado and I'll be like, I'm skydiving. I'm going up, not down.
Getting one of those little like balls that like you get inside, you just like suck me up. Jump out.
Could you? Well, I wonder what would happen if you jumped in one of those big giant rubber balls right before a tornado came to get you.
You're just fucking whipping around the fucking area. You're like, ah!
That'd be crazy. You'd probably, if you didn't have whiplash.
Right? The bam, bam, bam.
Hey, Jacob, how are you? Oh, man. All right. Well, I'll let you go and play some tunes.
Yeah, I could do that for a little bit.
I've been blabbering for 2 hours. Yeah.
You're like, I did my time.
Yeah, I got it out. I feel like I feel at least you're in this ridiculous whatever we're in together.
We all are. We're all in the same boat.
I swear, though, if some people come walking up my driveway in some little green or gray suits, I'm gonna laugh. I'm just gonna laugh and laugh. That's all that's gonna happen. They're not gonna convince me, so go for it. Maybe the devil will show up instead. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well. All right. See you later. I'll throw it out while you got your link in there. To your channel anyway. All right. Bye, Will. Thank you.
Most people who are in there, I think, have the link.
Okay,
I think Rave might have dropped it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they do.
But anyway, I'll see you later.
I will. Bye, Heather. Oh, okay.
This public service announcement is brought to you by Rotten Studios. Remember, no contact is the road to freedom.